Time to let Hog Wild do the cooking. Hog Wild's family packs are one heck of a good deal for a complete barbecue meal loaded with all the smoked meats, tasty sides, buns, and sauces you need to feed your family. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it on a Wednesday. Glad to be back in Lincoln for a day plus.
You actually mean that? You're in San Diego.
Yeah, I was in San Diego this morning. This was one of the ones where we got booked, with the stop, and it didn't really matter. So, of course, jet lag and all that, because you're 2 hours behind. We had to be on the team bus at 6:30. Flight at 8:50-ish. So 9, quick flight to Chicago, to Phoenix. An hour in Phoenix, but literally it's not an hour, because by the time you deplane, it's a full sprint to the gate, to get, and it's never easy, and they changed the gate. So
that's fantastic.
The gate that was on the ticket was not where it was boarded. So we pulled in at C7, and on the ticket it says C17 for the next leg. And I was in front of folks, so I got off, and whatever reason the app wasn't working. The app that tells you, for the airline app. I won't yell at them yet. But
there had been a lot of people running around like maniacs if the app was not working.
Well, that was the thing, but it was the second leg. So when the first leg printed out, it printed out what gate it was planned for you to go to. And I'm like, okay, crunch for time, but we're okay. It's 10 gates. Even when you look at the airport, like I'm a person, I'll look at the airport to make sure, and it's from C7 to C17. So it's 10 gates. But even in this one, they had another tentacle that you had to go to get to 17. So you had to leave the one area from C7 to C1, make a right turn, go down 2 escalators long corridor to get to 17. Except for I get to 17 and it says that flight is going to San Jose. And I'm like, nope. This is a problem. So I'm still refreshing the phone, trying to get, of course, the phone. There's a weird thing that happens when you fly to San Diego. Sometimes your phone will roam, because at parts of it, if your phone is on, it will roam into Mexico. Because San Diego, the border, it's Tijuana.
Yeah, it's far enough south, yeah.
So that's a whole thing. Then the full, it's like, okay, so let me go and find the big board that tells you, okay, where are all the departures leaving from. And for whatever reason, there were 3 flights to Omaha within that window. And I recognized the number from the card, from the boarding pass, and it's D18. And I'm like, doggone it. Oh man. Okay, now we're on the clock. Now you're on the clock. And it's a full back from C17, back down that corridor, cross another corridor and another corridor to get to D gates. And then D1 through 7 was on one tentacle. D 11 through 18 were on a separate tentacle. And then I'm like, well, wait, where's 8 and 9? And that's, for whatever reason, my head went, it's D8, and there's no D8. Oh, boy. So finally it clicks
Yeah.
that, it's D18.
Was Rico with you through this whole process?
But Rico, okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about Southwest. So the team picks the airline, and we travel with the team. So now we pay for the seats, but the team books it so that we could go through. We can travel with them. We know what's going on. Like if you're the flagship, you should be around them more to get more information. It makes sense. But Southwest, you don't get assigned seats. You get thrown into a pool of A 1 through 60, B 1 through 60, C 1 through 60, depending on the size of the plane. And Rico and I always joke that I need for him to become a genius and break the metric for how Southwest codes determines where you are. And it's not when you buy your ticket, because half the team will end up in A, and then the other half of the team will end up in B. And I'm like, but like after some other people.
Yeah, and they're getting all the tickets at the same time. So it doesn't make sense.
So it's like, okay, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like that's not cool. But okay, fine. And then you can go through but because it's a group booking, the individual has no access. So I can't go on and change the reservation, my reservation within the group reservation. So then it's a battle. And Harrison, we travel with 25 6-foot-tall women.
Oh yeah. It's challenging itself right there.
Right. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. This isn't cool at all. Like this is because again, I'm old, but okay, I'm a big dude.
Right.
But I don't have to play that night. Right?
Well, especially like these guys. They played yesterday, come back,
get on a plane.
On tomorrow.
Right. So a part of it is trying not to be that dude. But on the same token, I feel terrible when you're posted next to somebody that you don't want to be posted next to, and they don't want to be posted next to you. So for whatever reason, both of these flights, now flights are full, and you don't know until you get there whether the flights are full. If the flights are full, that means that you have to fight to either get a window or an aisle, or if you're in C, you're screwed. You're just going to end up in between whoever. And then I feel bad because the 6'5" girls, you don't want them to have to scrunch in the middle somewhere. So it's like, okay, why don't you go? Why don't you go? For whatever reason today on the first leg, I get on the plane right behind Rico. But Rico keeps going. He's going to the back of the plane because that's usually where the open seats are and the window and aisle. But I peek to my left, and in row 2, there's a window open. And I'm like, yo, winner, let's go.
You're a window seat guy?
I'm a window seat guy,
especially
in the morning, because I can lean against.
Oh,
I can lean. Yeah, but I can lean against the plane. So if there's somebody in the middle, I can kind of concede. Okay, so rules of engagement. The person in the middle gets both arms. Right?
Yeah, because they got the worst spot by far. So I'll give you the armrests.
Yeah, they get both armrests. You on an aisle or other. At least on the window, I can lean against the window and give them some more room. You know, decent person. And if I'm going to sleep, my head's not going to roll around because I can lean it against the plane, right? You don't want me on a plane snoring. So let me just lean on. Let me lean against the wall. So I get in front. The rest of the team goes to the back of the plane because that's where they can sit together. And then, so I deplane first, knowing that on the boarding pass, it says go to gate C17. So I take off and I'm like, okay, fine. And of course, you've been on a plane for a while. So I'm like, let me hit the bathroom. I come out and I get to the gate and I don't see any. Like, there's the one thing about traveling with a women's volleyball team. You see the people you're traveling with. Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I do want to do a whole segment on traveling with a women's volleyball team.
I bet you some good stories on that.
Because it's its own thing. But there's nobody there. So Rico's calling me, and because my phone is wonking out, I know that somebody's calling, but it won't let me answer it. And so finally, I'm hoofing it to the gate. And as I turn the corner, Rico's like, well, hey, he's calling me. And he's like, did you get the message on where we are? I'm like, yeah. And at that point, we're there. So it's like, oh, man, it's so like you feel terrible, and it's its own thing. And then on the way, it's always interesting, Harrison, that even flying to Omaha, where the team is from, it is a thing where half the people on said plane, going or coming, are Supernovas fanatics, and they lose it. They lose it. Oh my God, I love you. It's Kendall White. Oh my God.
I mean, it's hard not. You see Betty De La Cruz out there. It's hard not to root for her.
Yeah, like it's like, oh my God, you're the best. You're the best. And then you have the other half who are like, what is this a basketball team? Is this what's going on?
I'd probably start with WNBA. It'd be my first guess.
Well, but Omaha. Like, why? Why are you in Omaha? But it could be a connector, right? You don't know. Like, if they see us coming into the airport, and sometimes, like on the road, we're on a team bus. So when you get off of that and go into a hotel, they're like, what is happening here? Like, what is going on? And it's at the airport, women are engaging. Men become turtles. Because if you are in your own space and a 6'2" Amazon walks in, like the guys that on the they're like, what is happening? Who is that? Like, what is going on? And you go, okay. And then they go, so are you? And they travel in like sweats, like Supernova sweats. Like they
got that team gear.
They got the team gear on, right? And they go, are you on a team? Like, bruh, don't be so lame. Yeah, of course they're on a team. Like they're all wearing the same thing. And it says,
and they look like premier athletes.
Yeah, and they've got name tags, like name tags on the backpack that says, it's a team. They all have the same tag. So, okay. But then, and you get, for the women want pictures. They want selfies. They want things signed. The men freak out because it's, you're tall. I was like, that's what you came up with, huh? Like that was your entry pass. Okay. No game. Wow. All right. It's really painful to watch sometimes.
I will say, I mean, if you're like 5'8" and she's 6'5", that might be the first thing to come out.
No, but I mean, like, if you're gonna shoot your shot, shoot your shot. Like, take a shot. Like, don't throw a brick. Like, don't bounce it off your foot. Like, don't.
How many times have you heard that?
Like,
just for that first line.
For that first line, we've had. I'll just say 7 road trips. I've heard that 100 times.
That's disappointing.
100. And it's and then it's the people who are at the airport bar who are just toasting it up, right? And these are, they're on somebody's expense account, so they're kind of,
have a good time, yeah.
Right? They're kind of douche. Right? And they, let me see what's working here. I'm Mr. Somebody. Let me go shoot my shot. And no.
You're really tall.
No, it never works. It never works. So to get through, like, here's, we got back at 3:30. You wait for luggage. That puts you in Omaha traffic at 4:00. And there was an accident. So it's a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just sitting there, and Rico's driving, and I'm like falling asleep. I'm like, whatever, man. I can't even hold on to it. I'm tired. But it's a long day. Atlanta, we can go direct.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Omaha to Atlanta, you can get there direct. I think we went direct to Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, we went to Dallas and then Atlanta.
Okay.
But also we were traveling from Orlando, so we went from Orlando
That's right.
to Atlanta, and then Atlanta back to Omaha. Columbus, no direct.
That's surprising. There's not a direct flight to Columbus.
Not from Omaha, no. Grand Rapids, no.
I can see that.
Nope. Vegas, no.
How is Vegas not? That seems like easy. That seems like one that's you gotta have.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's a frequent spot that most people are trying to get a direct flight to.
It's weird. You can, but then it's a race to get tickets for 35 people.
I see.
Right? So then you have to find a flight, and then the whole thing. And then there's the whole hotel aspect of it, which is, so the league has rules and boundaries on how it's supposed to work. So the hotels, to give you a standard, that the hotel should be 5-star, which means it has 24-hour room service. Because the games are at night.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of said game, 3 hours later, and then the interviews another hour, etc. to that, these players haven't eaten since lunch. Like, you have team snacks that you bring in.
Yeah, give you just a little bit of energy so you can make it through the night, but
Right,
you're not eating a full meal right before the game.
And then, pet peeve of mine, huge honking pet peeve. So tomorrow, let's say this was actually what happened in Vegas, in wherever we were.
San Diego.
They're using the college, San Diego State. So you play in San Diego State's arena.
Mm-hmm. The bowl.
Yeah. And I mean, inside it's nice, but okay. But they don't have professional people working it when it comes to certain aspects of it. They've cut some corners, the wrong corners, because they didn't have like media sheets and scout sheets that I need.
They're
like
essential
like
for
I
broadcasters.
need the sheets. And if you don't have them, the standard is to have them.
Yeah, even for a high school game.
And then it's my fault, but then it's my fault for not preparing as though they don't have it. So I know in a career to prepare as though they don't have it. So I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So partially my fault, but it's a pro team. So you should have media people, and and no, they didn't. They also didn't even have they didn't have water for us. They didn't have sodas for us. They didn't have food for us, which, again, I'll point out, if I'm doing an Omaha game, we leave here at 3 to set up for the hour, or 4. Let's say we're leaving at 4. 6 o'clock first serve. We'll leave at 4. Pre-game's at 5, right? So you push up a little bit earlier. So 3:30. From the moment pre-match starts, the pre-match show starts, through the match and the hour after the match, we're working. Like, we're talking. We don't have time to eat. Pet peeve.
That's a fair one, though.
To not have meals for media. Now, they have meals for the reporters, because the reporters don't do anything. Like, at any point, they could just go back and grab something to eat. I am talking.
Yeah, you're stuck there until the game's over.
Yeah, like, it's a thing. So I said, hey, not for nothing, hook a brother up. Like, come on. Like, just have meals. Now.
Well, the bare minimum water. That's crazy they didn't even have water out there for you last night.
That's not even a thing. have everything, but no water. We didn't have water, and
Like,
we
that's
don't have
insane.
runners on the road. We don't have runners on the road.
Yeah.
So, okay, at least at CHI, like we know the workers, and we can kind of head nod, hey,
Mhm.
can you get me a water? And they'll run, go get it for you. And it's a dash just to be able to go to the bathroom because there's no bathroom at the scorer's table. So you have to, whatever the distance from the scorer's table to the bathroom, hope there's no line, sprint back to the table to get the call on.
Do you size that up every arena you walk into?
You have to march. You literally have to walk it.
What about that one time Atlanta? You're up in the rafters.
Oh, bro,
you can't. You don't have time to take the elevator.
No, you don't. No,
You're
you
stuck.
don't. You don't. It is not. And we go back to Grand Rapids. It's the last game of the season. It's a road game. And this is one where they invited CBS Sports to do television. And I am giddy to watch the chaos that's going to happen in Grand Rapids when they walk in and go, wait a minute, there's zero chance this setup is going to work for us.
Mm-hmm.
Zero chance. Not happening. Not happening.
Well, we even had a couple times too where they haven't even had the Wi-Fi working or the equipment needed to call a good game.
Like the Ethernet, like the guy was putting in the Ethernet line 20 minutes before we went live yesterday.
I don't
And
understand.
he put it in the wrong place.
Yeah, like that. Doesn't that stress that? That stressed me out if I'm doing it 20 minutes before the game.
It absolutely, but it stresses us out because it's not really a thing that should be happening.
No.
And the other side of it is, so they have a pass and serve, basically the equal to basketball game day shoot around.
Mm-hmm.
So early that late morning, early afternoon, they'll go to the arena. And mind you, it's Rico. And I'm like, Rico, here's the thing. When you go to pass and serve, everything should be working.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever we're gonna sit, it should be working. Don't leave until it's working. That's your job.
It's facts.
And so if there's chaos at night, it means either something changed or it wasn't checked.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm running 3 businesses, man. Come on. Like, just handle a thing, right? You don't have to talk for 5 hours, 6 hours. Like, you don't. And like now, in case you've noticed, like I've started, like Rico, fine, you're going to do the last 20 minutes of the post-game show.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to understand the stress of this. Like, I'm going to put you on and let you do this. So it's always, all of it's interesting. And it's year one.
I was going to say, was some of this anticipated? Like, because this was a big uptaking by you. You just mentioned it. You wear a lot of hats. And you and Renee, great team, but you're going into year one. Were you anticipating some of these?
Yes.
Okay.
All of it. Because this is Renee's first year of broadcasting. And Renee's exceptional. She's a great student. Most great coaches are great students. And they will learn, okay, give her a boundary. And if I set her up and I know the things that she has ammunition for, right? And so that's easy. That's the easy part. And it was a great choice. But setting up, I mean, volleyball is such a different cadence than basketball, football, baseball, wrestling. It's a different cadence. Boxing, it's a different cadence.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a thing, right, to get that. And it took me probably 3 matches to go, okay. And then because you it's not only the play-by-play cadence, but the game cadence and then the play-by-play plus color cadence.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to get a coach who has an encyclopedia for every play, to give her, okay, how much time do you need to say what you need to say and to get the clue and the cue to get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get to break on time and knowing that you have to get, like, when we throw it back to you, I have to remind her that it's not 90 seconds from when we throw it to you. It's 90 seconds from when they call the timeout and the timer hits the button. So Rico will be signaling to go to break. I may see it, she may not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to nudge her or point or whatever to go, hey. So if she has to finish the thought and it's 12 seconds, guess what? We're behind the clock and it's a problem. Mm-hmm. So it's been really some of the stuff like Atlanta's like I expected Atlanta, Vegas, San Diego, Orlando. I expected in Omaha. I expected those 5 teams to just crush it.
I think Vegas was really good when you went down there too.
Well,
right?
because you want one big city,
right?
Quality arenas, right? So in those cities, either in all of these, it's either a pro hockey team or a college arena. So you're not playing in the high school gym. You're in an arena that produces big time events. Mm-hmm. And so anything that we can ask for, it should have already. It should have everything. Mm-hmm. And it should have the personnel for it. It should also have killer hotel. Now, let me just say it. Las Vegas, the pre-match stuff for Vegas is the best. Vegas, we stay in the Raiders hotel. And it's brand new.
I was going to say that team they've been there.
It's brand new, and it's the Raiders. And you know what the Raiders do? The Raiders show out because it's got the greatest sports bar I've ever been in. And the sports bar is open 24 hours.
That's incredible.
Like we got in at 11. I'm like, man, we're gonna have to Uber Eats or something. And I look around and the lady goes, I just said, where can we get something? And she just points. And it was like the holy choir just kicking in. Ah, and you turn and there's 50 signed Raider helmets.
That's incredible.
On the wall. And then like 50 Raiders signed footballs from like dudes. Then there's mannequins with every Raiders uniform. And you walk in the place and so imagine the mill times 100 and multiply the TVs by 10. And I walk in and I just went, is this real life?
I'd have a hard time. I'd have to lock in and give myself a time limit in that bar.
Oh, well, you just sit there. Like
yeah, I'd be absorbed.
You just sit there. And then across from the bar restaurant is another restaurant. But then out in the lobby, there's like a pastry shop. A pastry shop that's open all day.
He's got 24/7 pastry shop.
All day. Bruh. And I mean, I'm not talking about just donut. I'm talking about like top level.
It's Vegas.
Dessert. Like
and
top
across
level.
from the Raiders hotel. I'm not thinking of a small time deal.
Oh, and by the way, if you get the urge, take 30 paces and there's a casino. There's a casino. Just wait. Hey, DP. Hi, buddy. How are you? Are you bored? Do you have a minute? You want to make something of yourself?
Are you a casino guy?
When
you go to Vegas?
I am not. I haven't gambled in Vegas.
I would guess you'd be a craps table guy.
No, I don't. I like to control my vices.
That's smart.
By it's like the whole drinking thing. That's why I don't do it, because I like being in control of me. And like that's why I don't do the betting thing, even like on pregame. Like, oh, what do you think this is gonna be? No, because I know anybody who says they know what's gonna happen is a liar. Mm-hmm. Like, you're a liar. You don't know what's going on. You have ask the coach of the team that's about to play what's going to happen tonight, and he has no idea. No idea. So the fact that I'm going to give hard-earned money betting, there was the thing. There's an article on ESPN today talking about there were the guys at the end of the bench in college basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that there's some fantastic stories. There's some fantastic at the end of your bench at a Power 5 school. It's a story. And one of the examples was a guy who played, it might have been Purdue, who played Grambling in the first round.
Oh, that was Purdue.
Purdue, right? And they're talking about the guys at the end of the bench. And these are guys who, like the guy had 2 knee injuries, I believe, right?
Yeah.
He had to grind to stay on the team and to play. Like he in most cases, he would have given up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have just said, nope, I'll get my degree. I'll become a coach. I'll whatever. But it's too much work for me to go and do this, especially for the number 1 team in the country. Like being the 12th man, yeah, you get to ride along, but the work that's required for you to drag a leg through an entire season. The guy had scored 21 points. No, he had played 21 minutes all year. 21 minutes all year. And Purdue's blowing people out.
Yeah.
But you have to remember the second 5 has to get minutes. And then it's the final 2, 3, 4 walk-on guys, right?
You're Steven Izzos.
Right. The guys who are at the end of it who just get a moment. And when they finally get in a game, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells the story of being in the tournament. And they're up 25. And coach puts him in the game. Now, the team is like, go get yours, bruh. Like, go get yours.
Mm-hmm.
He gets an open look. Purdue's up 25. The point spread is 27. He gets an open look, bangs the 3. Bangs the 3, covers the spread. They win by 28. You talk about the moment of all moments for this guy, right? Who scored 6 points all year.
Mm-hmm.
All year.
And grinded and practiced
With
and
the-
lifts
right?
all year.
All year. He goes and turns on his phone, and he's got messages. And there is such poison and venom in these messages. You should go kill yourself. You're a terrible human being for shooting that shot. It just like he's like, what is wrong with these people? To make a game that has nothing to do with them about them. Right?
I'm about that. You see that letter DJ Burns got?
Yeah.
Like people are insane with bets. Like I know a lot of people are like think it's ridiculous. I'm actually happy the NCAA is trying to take a step to eliminate some of these prop bets for college games. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to have all these. Like, and they're not just banning, like you can still think through the money line, but they're just the individual player prop bets they're trying to get rid of. And I think that's a fantastic idea because at least there's so much unnecessary hate. Like exactly what you said. That guy grinds all damn year, doesn't get to ever see the court, finally sees the court, has an awesome moment. And then you said it, venom.
I mean, he has family.
Mm-hmm.
He has high school teammates in his hometown, right? Who know, like, wait a minute, you're on the team, but we'll never get to see you play. And instead of them making this a celebratory moment, they're going to make it about that. And it's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just go, wow, I'm not hanging out with pro athletes. I mean, I've been blessed. I've been blessed. I mean, I've shared homes with them. I've gone on vacations with them. And because of that, you know what they go through. You know what they go through. So one, I'm not betting. I'm not going to profit off of them. I don't want to profit off of my friend's moment.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't want to profit off of his pain. If he wins, I don't want to profit off of it because I know what he went through, and it's about my relationship with him rather than this financial thing. If he puts in all of the work in the NFL and gets concussed and injured and bruised and bone injuries, I don't want to make profit off of that. Not that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to profit off of Sam Hoiberg and his pain. You want to root for him and you want to support him. I don't like the whole betting thing. It's not, and look, for those who bet, do your thing. I'm not telling you how to live. I'm just saying for me, I don't like it for me.
And that's fair. And I'm like you said, like I don't care if people bet. You can bet. Just don't yell at 18-year-olds or even adults for that matter for your own poor financial choices.
Well, this was the thing. So this is when I was in Carolina, and two of my business partners, again, they were starters for the Panthers in their championship run. So when they actually beat the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Dallas in Charlotte, and this was the Aikman, Irvin, Emmett Cowboys. So this was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big deal. And the party that town had that night was unlike anything that I've ever seen. And rightfully so. And there are people who are buying drinks because, you covered the spread. And I'm like, okay. Okay. Yeah. But there's another side to it. And yes, you can ride the high, but riding the high demands that you accept the crash. Because in every sport, one team gets to finish on a high. One. That means 90% of the athletes who play finish their season, this sucks.
Yeah, one team, 99%, 99.9%.
Right? Like, I mean, college basketball, there's, 231 teams or whatever the number is.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say 68 get into the tournament. All 67 of them are going to hate their last game. They're going to hate it. And a large portion of them are going to hate it more because it's their last game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just their last game at Nebraska. It's their last basketball game. Right? Just the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And to have somebody who sat at home on a couch eating nachos take ownership of it to do more harm in it. I get being supportive. I don't get the venom.
I'm right there with you. We talk about time, but I'll never get over, like Chucky, played again here. I knew it was coming, but he got booed again. I just don't, it's a Nebraska kid just trying to make his right move, and what he's done at Wisconsin, it's been impressive. Like, I can't hate him for it.
And I caught so much heat.
You're one of us, DP.
saying, no, just ease up. No, that's a human.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I hope people got to listen to the We Talk Facts where they had his dad on too. And you get to hear his dad, and it's like, that's a good family. It's just a very respectable people that no one should have really any problems with.
Here's the thing. There are athletes that I don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't boo them because they're out there busting their hump.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have to think Caitlin Clark or Reese, or Angel Reese are the best humans on the planet. I'm going to admire the work that they put in and the achievements they have. I don't have to agree with them off the court. I don't have to agree. Like, wait a minute. Like, no, I don't have to like Iowa's coach. I don't. But does she know basketball? Is she one of the best coaches in the country? Absolutely. And you can say, I don't agree with you. I respect you. I don't agree with you.
Yeah. That's what also is real with the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. That has been so frustrating for me to listen to those arguments. I see two of the same players that are incredibly talented, and they both got some swagger on the court. And to hear like both groups try to pick at the other one, I'm like, you guys are kind of talking about the same player. They got a lot of ego. They're both great basketball players. It's the same player. Like they got a little bit of difference, but for the most part, they're dominant and they got some swagger on the court, and they're drawing numbers as a result.
What All-American player who has All-American achievements, you can tell me they're humble, but why would you want them to be?
The numbers will tell you 12.2 million people tuned in to watch those superstars.
Like, that's not about you. Why do you want to humble? Like, oh, you should be humble. No, they will.
It makes me laugh sometimes.
You're in their relationship with their spirituality now. Their spirituality is about you.
I would love to see some of those Twitter trolls go drop 40 and then go have a really nice, humble press conference.
No, you can't. Like, you can't. The best game I've ever had, I went home and watched. I went home and watched Eddie Murphy do comedy because I didn't want the excess high that happens, because the end part is the low. That we lost the state championship with me on third base as the tying run. Like, decades later, it still bothers me.
Yeah, you're bringing it up today. That's brutal.
It bothers me. Like, it bothers me. So people who play the games and put in the work to play the games, I can never tell Jay Foreman what the amount of work that Jay puts in to be a Hall of Fame, a college Hall of Fame linebacker, or to lead the NFL in tackles. I don't know what that did to his body. I don't know what that did to his brain. I don't know what that did to his relationships. I don't know. You can listen, which is the thing, and then you can applaud and go, I'm glad you're still here. Like, thank you for letting us ride along. Like, for the fans who were Husker fans and they were around in 94, 95, 97, yeah, you were spoiled rotten. And you deserve to throw confetti and throw parties and chug beer and do shots. Okay. But you also have to know that that's not going to continue. And you better have a plan for how you're going to cope when it crashes. Alabama still can't stand the fact that Georgia looks across their fence. Wait a minute, they're getting the hot girls and the catered meals. I thought those were ours. We were the kings of college football. Oh, and then LSU were the kings of college football. Tell me what they've gone through over the past, right? Duke basketball. The Leitner Grant Hill years are done, man.
North Carolina, Syracuse, those eras are over.
Hey, man, there's not another Michael Jordan coming, bro. Like, this is how, like, you got to learn how to take it on the chin.
Indiana's freaking out right
now.
Like,
Indiana had, like...
Woman's not the woman. The woman's shout out to them. They almost beat South Carolina.
Yeah, but Bobby Knight's not coming back. He's not walking in the door.
Got to move on.
Coach Osborne, listen, the best part of being a fan is the journey. Like, I love the season, because it's a whole new season of, like, television, of entertainment. And episode 1 is camp, and it's just setting the trailers for what's going to be. And you go, oh, this could be the best movie ever. This could be the best series ever. This could be awesome. And then if you're disappointed in it, don't be. Like, that's the part. Like, wait a minute. Nebraska basketball took us on one heck of a ride.
Was fun.
It was fun. That was fun.
This is the most fun I've ever had watching Nebraska basketball my entire life. And I love throwing Petaway and Shields, but my God, these guys were fun to watch.
That was fun. I had the feeling for softball because you have the best player in the country. And I knew what the momentum was in the vacuum. But I'm a coach at heart. And I know I better have a plan if something happens. And you don't wish it and you don't speak to it, but you plan and you prepare. So as fans, you hope that fans just go, I'm just here to cheer. Like, I'm just here. I'm here to be with my other Husker fans.
Mhm.
Like, we're going to wear our colors. There's 90,000 of us, and it's awesome.
And you're totally right, because this was the first season we got to see Juwan Gary be healthy all year long. We haven't got to see a healthy Juwan, and we finally got to see it. And he's an incredible player. And now we're excited for next year. And again, you just hope, but you got to plan for it.
Tell me that Nebraska wrestling isn't elite, and that the real journey is to watch. The majority of us have no idea what wrestlers go through just to get on the match on match day. The sacrifices, the absolute grit. Look, no. And then to go, okay, that you fight every day for hours. How many injuries do you have with a body that you're banging at, like you're just beating it up every day? And then you're going to compete against somebody that really wants to hurt you. With all the injuries that you built in. And, oh, by the way, your diet isn't exactly free.
It's brutal.
It's a tough diet. It's a tough world. Sleep, rest, hydration, nutrition, vitamins, rest, recovery.
Even the water, you got to measure that before you get your weigh in. Like, how much water am I drinking today? Just as small as that.
And think about this. That team finished third in the Big Ten, ninth in the country. At most spaces, there would be a reception for them unlike anything else. Volleyball was number 2 in the country. You remember the pain on the faces of the Nebraska volleyball team? Right? When they sat down, they were down in Tampa, and it's like, oh man, this sucks, but we're on the revenge tour.
Yeah.
I call it a revenge tour. There were people who criticized Coach Cook, and I just went, who hurt you? Like, that game didn't hurt you. The result didn't hurt you. Because your investment was time and emotion and, yelling at it. But you didn't go and have 400 swings a day and taking kills off the forehead and diving. How many times does Alexi Rodriguez have to dive, slide, and roll a week?
A lot.
So my thing in the fandom is be a fan and accept the good from it. And then when you get to a thing where you're not accepting it positively, then make a decision. And I have friends, and they're friends here in Lincoln, who the way they consume Nebraska athletics is unhealthy. It's unhealthy. And I went, you do realize the TV turns off. Like, you don't have to go to the stadium. You don't have to watch it live. You don't have to drink during it. You don't have to overconsume food during it. You don't have to yell at your girlfriend during it. You don't. You don't.
Yeah.
And if you're using it as medicine for some other pain or hole in your life, the hole still exists. And when it goes left, that hole is going to hurt you. Figure out how to just, like we would tell the parents before. And there were things that we would do on the high school level. One, I wanted to meet the players, families, as soon as they made the team. As soon as they made the team. And I said, as parents, you don't need my permission to love and care for your child and support your child. It's free. If you want to come to practice, open door. Come to practice. Any sport, any day of the week, you want to sit in the gym, you want to sit, you know what? You want to sit out in the cold before baseball season when it's 45 degrees? You want to sit at practice when we struggle through? You want to, or sit in your car with the heater on? Go ahead. If you want to sit in a stinky gym for 3 months during basketball season, come on. You want to sit in the 90-degree heat for summer practice so you know why I'm telling little Johnny what I'm telling him? You want to know why he's not playing?
Mm-hmm.
Come to practice and watch him every day. Or ask him every day how it went and ask him to tell you the truth. Because there is a truth to it. But parents never get to question me about playing time unless you come to practice every day.
That's fair.
You want to come? I said, listen, I don't tell you how to parent. You don't tell me how to coach. If you start to tell me how to coach, expect me at your house sitting on your couch critiquing your parenting.
I have no problems with that. That's fair. Because I feared too many stories about
Right.
parents getting a little too involved.
The same for the fan base is we would have a rally. And in the rally, here's the rules of engagement. Support. Cheer. Holler. Scream. Venom is not required. We had the best fan base of any high school I've ever been at. And there was never venom. There was never venom. Imagine 4,000 kids at a basketball game and nobody finger pointing and cursing. And no, we didn't have that. They came to celebrate the thing. They came to be together. They came to root together. And those programs always did well because you had a great fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would tell people in that whole thing, like, listen, there's a parent that said, we know how the movie ends. And I said, okay, can I ask you a question? Did you still watch the movie? You don't go to the movie for the ending. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. That means you spent 2 hours in the theater and spent money and bought popcorn and sodas and for the last 30 seconds.
And it doesn't mean as much because you're just watching the ending, the journey, the thing that is the best part that you're trying to say here.
Yeah.
You're missing all of it.
You missed all of it. You're going to get there for the final out? No. Go on the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Go on the ride. Don't just, be on the roller coaster at the end of it when it pulls back into the depot.
Yeah, well, that's again why Nebraska basketball is so great this year because you go from Minnesota and you're like, I don't know about this team. They got promised, and then Creighton at home. And again, to think that's like you're not going to lose another home game after this. Like no one's minds were at that point.
You can't, and you had to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of it were people being on the ride voluntarily and then being surprised that, hey, look at us. Look at us. So anyway.
Let's hope my Bears can do that this year.
Yeah. Hey, look, if they pull a Nebraska, it'll be quite the ride.
I'm down for it.
Quite the ride. All right. What's up next?
Up next, we got Don't Punt Hour, and then we got Brewington, and then we got Malone Radio on Wednesdays as well. And then we'll have a replay, and then we'll be right back up to the daily end. So plenty here left on Ticker Weeknights. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. I'll carry you guys through the rest of the night, and we'll talk to you in just a little bit.